Not gonna work. So much mucus. So there we are under the hood. 855 Big Cam Cummins Formula. So if you don't know, the Formula is supposed to be the fuel efficient version of the 855. Back in the day, it would like governor out at like 1800 RPM, and you couldn't rev it any higher than that. And the horsepower and torque numbers reached their peak a lot lower in the RPM. And this was all done in an effort to save money, fuel economy. And I can tell you, this truck here, someone's been into the pump and changed that, because it'll rev up to at least 2100 RPM. So, and here I was kind of showing you the double stacked headlights. You can tell they're not original. Like right here looks like original, then they cut up there to make these fit. Some people seem to think they put those stack headlights in there in 1984, the last year of production of these trucks. Right before they switched over to the 9370, people are saying they put them headlights in these trucks. I believe that to be a lie. Seems like a lot of the Mexican Dina versions of these trucks have those double stack headlights in them. I kind of suspect people just put them in there back in the day thinking they were going to be brighter than the factory single rectangular lights, which I don't think turned out to be true. The wiring just sucked on them back in the day, and some heavier duty gauge wire, some bigger gauge wire would have helped out a lot, from what I'm told. But yeah, this turbo looks a little suspect. We need to check it out. So we're checking the turbo out because it's got all this oil all over the place. And you can see the compressor's pretty loose. And when I look in the fins here, you know, they're a little worn, a little damaged. But I don't feel any excessive movement in the shaft. Some other stuff it needs, you know, it looks like we could use all new airlines. And torque rod bushings are pretty well shot. Shock absorber bushings look pretty well wasted. And they've probably been leaking all the oil out of them. So some typical old truck stuff. Got an interesting vent line over here, don't you think? But that's all on the list. I got some mud flaps for it. I forgot to show you when the hood was open, but missing some pieces for the bracket to hang the flaps. I got those on order. So, yeah. So I was messing around some more. And I got the mattress on the top bunk strapped in, as you can see. And then I folded it down. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't fold up there. It just folds down and folds. I'm guessing it just folds into a couch like this. You know, there's some brackets like those down there that it locks into. And now we got us a couch back here. So. Pretty neat. Seems a lot more roomy with it folded up. I don't think it's super comfortable, but whatever. So some people may not know that a lot of these trucks came with a little ladder that went under here. Even the flat top trucks had them. And this truck doesn't have one. Looking underneath of it, there's see some holes here. And there's even some holes up on this lip in here. It made me think maybe it did have one, but they're not really centered. You know, they're more towards the rear if it would have had one, according to those holes. But I kind of think it didn't have one because I think most of them are pretty well centered here. It just so happens I happened to find an NOS one on eBay like a year ago. And I've got that inside. You see, I pulled those candlesticks off. I think it looks a lot better without them. So here it is. International. It's just labeled as one step. Don't know what happened there. Don't much like it though. So there it is installed. Only had one problem though. Doesn't appear to be the right one. These braces here are supposed to bolt on here. As you can see, they don't. They just, that's where they reach. Excuse me. I could probably put a bend in those. Even so, I don't think they would reach these holes, and I'd have to bend those vertical. So